friends, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to go over what we can do to prepare ourselves better for the upcoming exams. If you're watching this video, you're probably on your study leave or you're going to go into your study leave, and this is when you realize you have so much yet so little time on your hands. It will be tempting to go out with your friends, but then you know you need to study and you don't want to burn yourself out either. The struggle is real, am I right? But hopefully after watching this video, you can implement some of these tips so you can study more effectively and efficiently without burning yourself out. So, step 1. What to do during the classes themselves. So this may be a little bit late, but just in case you're still doing some classes in school, then there are many ways to be able to be more effective when it comes to taking notes. In today's video, we're going to be naming 3 of them. Option 1, doodling. So I don't know about you, but when I was a student, I loved doodling on my notes. It was not even funny. You don't have to be Picasso to doodle, but you just need your diagrams to be legible and make sense, especially to you. And by doodling, not only do you write fewer words, which saves you time, but it also allows you to remember more because it's more visually appealing and memorable more than words. Option 2, digital note-taking. Nowadays, it's so easy to take notes either on your laptop or on your iPad. If it's on your iPad, you even have apps like GoodNotes that will help you take notes or even record the audio of your class. Side note, this is not sponsored by GoodNotes, but just saying, I use you guys every day. Some teachers even allow you to take photos of what's on the board or on the class itself. Only some though. Option 3. Organize your notes during the class. For example, there's the Cornell method where you divide the page into 3 sections. On the left side, you put your prompts or your thoughts you can think of while note-taking. The center is where you take the bulk of your notes on the spot. Most likely, this is where you'll write what the teacher is teaching, and at the bottom right, you write the summary of the notes on the page. Now that we have our notes, it's time to plan how to make the most out of our time. Hopefully after this session, we now have strategies to help prioritize tasks, create a study schedule, and avoid procrastination. So there are a few ways to strategize on how to prioritize our time. First, time blocking, which personally I do even now. Basically, I will look at my overall goals, then distribute them into goals for the month, then distribute those goals through the weeks, and then further break them down into daily actionable steps. As the saying goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. What does that mean in terms of exam prep? So let's say I was studying for the iGCSEs or the IB. Before even time blocking, I would look at what I would still need to revise on in terms of the content, hopefully not so much. I would look at how many past papers I can get my hands on. Then I will look at how much time I have before the actual exams. Then, by however much time I have, I will divide the workload into that time. So if I had 2 months, then I will divide the total workload into 2 months. From there, I will break down the tasks further into weekly tasks. Then finally, I will break them down into daily tasks. This will give me a realistic perspective and direction on what I need to accomplish before my exams. Now, I know it's difficult to gauge how much time you actually need to study for each topic. From my personal experience, I could never follow a tight schedule because I tended to overrun. So instead of looking at it from a time perspective, like, okay, I'm gonna do 1 hour of organic chem and I'm gonna do another hour of differentiation, I will look at things from a topic perspective. For example, today I'm going to finish organics and differentiation. Once I do that, my goals are done for the day. This is why I say we need a big picture first before diving into the daily goals, because if we only look at daily goals, then what could happen is you literally run out of time and you haven't gone through everything you want to go over, and then you stress out at the end of the day. Speaking from experience. By doing the big goal first, we end up breaking everything down into actionable steps, and yet we know we have enough time to go over everything we need to go over. Second, put away any distractions. During the study sessions themselves, I will also make sure that everything that I know that could potentially distract me is out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind. This could be going into a different room or place that is designated just for study. It could be turning off the notifications on your phone, using our phones as a tool to help us stay focused, such as using apps like Forest. But yes, putting away things that could distract or take away my attention from studying. Quick tip. If you find that you easily lose motivation or get bored easily, then one thing you could do is give yourself a reminder. You could use a post-it note or a screenshot on your phone. Either way, remind yourself what is your goal for today and why are you doing what you're doing. Now that we've time blocked and we have great notes, let's find ways to help us remember things a lot better. So one of the things that I've found that have helped me and my students is to create visual aids. Loads of visual aids. So drawing diagrams, annotating those diagrams, helping me create that mental image and remember the concepts a lot better. And the only words on the diagram are the key words or phrases that we need to use during the exams. This will help minimize the words that we need to remember and also reduce the overwhelm. The other thing that I found was using acronyms or mnemonics. So for example, in chemistry, we have oil rig to help us remember that oxidation is losing, reduction is gaining electrons. Then in biology, we have King Philip came over for grade 6 to help us remember the different hierarchies of kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. The funnier the better. If you have a funny mnemonic or abbreviation, feel free to post it down below so we can all share some laughs and at the same time improve our memory. Now, other people I've heard from also use what they call memory palace, where they associate information with familiar locations such as their bedroom or their study areas. But again, you do you. So, lastly, let's look at active learning strategies. This is when we've already done our notes, time blocked successfully, and learned the concepts and understood it well enough the first time around. So what do we do next to make sure that we don't forget these concepts that we work so hard to remember? Again, there are many ways to help remember. Personally, for me, I find that teaching others is one of the easiest and most guaranteed way to know your stuff. You don't actually have to teach your friends, you can just explain the concept to them and see if they understand what you're trying to tell them. This way, the study session will also be a bit more fun since you're doing it with other people and you know you guys are not procrastinating. Now, if you're by yourself, then you could do things like spaced repetition. So every day or every other day, spend a few minutes to go over that topic that you went through the day before. Research has shown that we forget information, especially information that's in the short term, in 9 hours. So if you remind yourself of that information every now and then you're golden. The last and most important method will be something called interleaving. We can do this by straight up just doing past papers, because past papers tend to focus on one subject, like biology, chemistry, or math, and they are all connected, and they are all the knowledge that you need to know for your exam anyway. Now, at the same time, the good news about doing past papers is that you get to see how your exams will potentially ask you and what you need to say in order to score the points. True story, I've had so many students tell me, I have no idea what this question is asking me, as a reason they don't do well. Please don't let that be you. If you find going straight into full exam papers is too much, then you have the option of doing topic-specific questions first. And when you're more comfortable, go ahead and do a full past paper. But please, 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 eventually do past papers. We need the practice. In summary, we have 4 stages to help us prepare for our exams. The first stage is creating good notes that incorporate visuals and doodles to help us remember better. The second is the time block, where we prioritize our tasks, create a study schedule, and minimize the chances of procrastinating. The third stage is finding memory tricks to help enhance our memory and recall the ability. Lastly is to incorporate active learning strategies, whether it's with yourself or with other people. Do you have any tips and tricks that you use to help you prepare for your exams? Let me know in the comments down below. Quick word before we go, can I ask you a favor? If you found this video useful, can I ask you to subscribe to the channel and or like this video? It would help the channel grow, and in return, I will make sure the bigger the channel gets, the better the content gets. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!